What opening did you write on your score sheet today?
Well, modern, since I replied with G6 and D6.
Right.
Against an E4 setup, yeah.
Exactly. And were you expecting this, or were you happy about the opening phase here?
I had no idea what to expect on move one. Honestly, like D4 surprised me a little bit, but I was just, you know, trying to think on my own. And I mean, it really felt like such a solid starting position that that I could make common sense moves and be fine. And here, like, I've already opened up for my queen here, so it feels like he has to be like a little bit careful about the position opening up. And once he sort of defines the structure in the center by exchanging, then I think I'm just completely fine. Yeah. As you said, B3 is probably a structural mistake. Maybe he needs to try and go for a setup with C3, B4 at some point, and then possibly castling kingside at some point. But it's it's not so easy. But I think B3 is it's just not a good plan. And okay, it felt this felt normal, getting the knights to decent squares, getting the bishop out. I mean, the engine is showing that white is slightly better. It felt to me that I was slightly better, or that it was at least easier to play.
You were soon better here after queen f1, I think, already, queen f8.
Yeah, maybe this is just low depth. Who knows?
Yeah.
Bishop c4. I think bishop c4 was clever, actually, because the trend in the game was not so good for him. It felt, at least to me, and I think to him as well, that my position was easier to play. So this was an attempt to force the game a bit, since he's threatening something. Now he's jumping in with the knight, and I'm just curious as to whether this move is any good. I was thinking that he was going to play a4, and the problem is I cannot play c6 because of this.
Just to show this real quick, queen takes, bishop takes e5, wins the queen.
And if I don't have the move c6, I didn't really see. Like, comp is showing that black is better, but I have no idea how.
So let's have a quick look.
Should I go like a5?
Computer wants to take the bishop also on the previous move.
It was a take and then a5. Oh, this is actually instructive. And white position looks excellent, but in fact he has no plans. I can go like bishop b6, bishop b7, long castles, something like that. Yeah.
In general,
unfortunately, I was not good enough to realize this.
Yeah, in general, this a4 or a5, the computer very often want to do that, to involve the rook maybe without castling.
Of course. No, that's true in many lines. Like, as soon as you see a starting position with the king on b8, a8, or g8, g8 and the rook on h8, or vice versa with white, you have to consider the move a5, a4, h4, h5 on every move. For me, it was simply a case of I didn't want to necessarily define the pawn structure too early, since I thought in some cases I might want to go c6, a6, and go for b5 after he, at least after he castled. So I didn't feel like, but yeah, this is actually very instructive. I like this a lot, that you can just trade on c4. I somehow didn't consider that properly, but my position is just so solid that there's just nothing he can do there.
It is very solid and sorry.
Yeah. My thoughts didn't reach much longer than I take, queen takes, bishop c5, and I'm not really threatening to take on f2, so I thought king b1, and I kind of stopped here, which is really stupid.
Just to show if black takes on f2, there's too much play on the
insane.
F
this is insane. So I kind of stopped here, concluding that white is fine, which is clearly a positional misjudgment. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Well, bishop a3 is also very logical to trade the bishops, and we are expecting maybe that you want to follow it up with some attack with knight c5.
Yeah, knight c5. This looks looked quite pointless to me. ED5, he goes queen E1 next, threatening B4, and honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I'm just misplacing my pieces. It felt. So yeah, I was in no mood to go for murky lines like this. I was kind of. I mean, knight c5 was my original intention, but I was kind of upset with the fact that. Rook e3. I was considering lines like
A5,
A5 here, but once again, knight d4 maybe, but once again, just queen e1, and Compi showing that black is better, but this was counterintuitive to me. It seemed to me that the queen is out of play, and I didn't like it at all.
All right,
but maybe I mean the game was not so interesting. That was just mass.
There was one interesting moment which we would like to hear your thoughts about. After a4 c6, knight takes b6, a takes b6. Did you consider rook takes e6 here?
No.
So this seems to
that's sometimes your like positional filters. Didn't even occur to me.
Yeah, the idea is to push b5 immediately. So after queen d3, b5, and then to start an attack.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I see it as soon as the move is on the board, but no, I didn't consider it. But I'm not going to argue with the engine evaluation. And it is very logical. And if I'd spent more than 1 second on taking back, then. Okay, that's interesting.
Bishop takes e6. Peter also said 100 times out of 100. A normal standard chess game you would take with the bishop, but here this was probably the last chance where you could have claimed an advantage, and then it just petered out to a draw.
Yeah.
Still, solid game with the black pieces. Draw in the first game. Good result after all. Maybe feeling like you missed a little bit of a chance here.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say that I felt pretty shitty and energetic from the morning today. So that was part of some of the decisions that I made that I didn't feel like taking risks, because I was worried I was going to start missing things.
Right. Tanya and Peter, do you have questions for Magnus?
Well, the move that you played there with knight g8 to f6, I felt like, can we just pull that up? Because I thought that's true mastery, that we know exactly that black wants to place the pawn on f6. Yeah, you highlighted also that pawn on f6 against knight on f3, but then finding this composure that first you even maximize your harmony by developing that knight. Please tell us, what did you think here? And how did you find this calmness to go for it?
I just felt that it's such a quiet position that you can afford to maneuver very very slowly. So it's clear that the knight needs to be out of the way. I mean, maybe it can go to f6 and then h7. H6, F7, but it's clear, like, from E7 that the knight has no prospects. So I just felt that it's a slow position. Let me take my time. Like, what you look at the black position, like, what can go wrong? as long as you meet A4 with A5, then there's just nothing that white can do. Nothing much that white can do. So it just felt very, very natural to bring the knight first, and it's of course like a very pleasing way to play when you have so much time to maneuver, especially when you don't feel like 100% sharp. Then it's better to take it easy.
Thanks for sharing your insights on the game, Magnus. Just was wondering if you were following the semifinals between Levon and Fabi yesterday.
It was a crazy match. Obviously, Fabi had a million chances to decide it, so it was extremely deserved that he went through in the end. But great show, and it's really fascinating to see what happens with the pulse when it's up. That
174.
I mean, I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm calm when I play, but I know that I cannot play with that kind of pulse. Like, you just stop you just stop thinking and everything goes south.
I mean,
No,
we've
it's
rarely
just,
seen you over 100, honestly. You're always very low. Even this one time you were playing against Ruja, you had like 30 seconds on the clock and you were still at 80.
Yeah,
heart rate
but was that
when you were losing in the rookie
when
game.
I was losing? Yeah, because I was sort of mentally resigned. So that was maybe the explanation for that.
How do you manage to keep so calm in these crazy positions?
I have a lot of experience, but I don't feel calm.
All right, Magnus, thanks so much for joining in and sharing all your insights from today.